Alright, so boom. We're going to talk about how to get out of having to live paycheck to paycheck or month to month, or basically how to unlock the ability for you to be able to do things with a lot more freedom and a lot more abundance, right? Alright, so check this out. I'm going to mention this from a couple different ways. First of all, I'm going to talk about how to do this on a daily thing, right? Because a lot of people are programmed to think on a month-to-month type of basis, to the point to where they don't really acknowledge each individual day as a new opportunity to do things differently. But when you really think about how these planets influence our existence, and how the moon and the sun and all the planets and the stars and all that stuff, believe it or not, they are bigger bodies, so they're influencing the smaller bodies, aka us in this context, and what's going on this planet as well. So in order to really be within balance with the way that things flow, you're going to have to be aware of what's going on in the stars. A lot of people might call that astrology or astronomy. I'm not too big on astronomy, but I feel like anybody who's at least somewhat spiritually curious is going to be at least somewhat interested or curious or believing in astrology. Just make sure you don't make it your religion, because of course everything's really under your control in the end anyways. But check this out. I'm going to tell you the best ways to improve your chances of making certain things happen. So first of all, we got Monday, right? Monday might be seen as the first day of the week. Monday sounds like moon day. So the thing that people don't realize with the moon is that the moon has these phases where it shows its entire self, and then it shows different portions of itself in a different presentation. When you are looking at the moon, you can actually use this to know what is the best time for what type of actions, right? So let me give you some examples. The moon, and I'm talking about this on like a moon phase type of thing in the months, and then I'm going to talk about specific days of the week too. So that's why I started with Monday, because it's the moon's day. So first of all, just Monday in general is the moon day, which means you're supposed to be paying attention to what's going on within, right? You're supposed to be more feminine on a Monday. You're supposed to be a lot more, feminine and interested in what you have going on behind closed doors. So speaking on the astrology thing, when we talk about somebody's moon sign, it's like the personality that they've got when nobody's looking, or should I say at home, when even though somebody might be around, but it's going to be somebody who's really close to you. You're not going to see somebody's moon sign if you don't really know them that well, if that makes sense. So it's more about who they are as an introverted type of spirit whenever they're on that self type of thing, and it's not so like being influenced by people's ego and stuff like that. It's like the egoless version of yourself when nobody's looking. So you're supposed to pay more attention to how you feel on the inside, your feminine energy, the water, the moon, right? So anyways, moving into how to apply this in a monthly thing. The moon has these different phases, right? You got the new moon, right? So the new moon is when you want to make sure that you're setting new intentions for the month. You want to be on this month-to-month thing and figure out how to do it well before you start moving into looking in the longer term type of stuff. In my opinion, of course, you want to have long-term goals, but if you don't even realize the positions that you're in the present, it's going to be pretty hard for you to set long-term goals, because you don't really know where you're headed yet, because you're not self-aware enough. So whenever you're doing this, you want to pay attention to who you are, or where you are, I should say, where you are at the new moon. And then this is when you want to be setting intentions, right? You want to be setting these intentions for where you're going to be at by the time the full moon comes. Of course, this happens on a monthly cycle, right? So we're talking about how to master the monthly cycle, and then we're going to talk about how to get out of the monthly cycles. So you're never going to really get out of them. So maybe that's not the best way to put it. But basically what I'm saying is how to unlock the abilities that you got so that it's not going to be so difficult to get what you want at any given time. So anyways, I'm just going to keep going. So when you got this new moon, you're going to be setting the intentions. You're going to be like, all right, within the next 30 days, I want to be here. Of course, set realistic goals just to prove this stuff to yourself. You should set goals that are definitely attainable, right? you want to make sure that you obtain these goals. Next month is going to be another month. You're going to have even stronger goals or bigger goals or harder to reach goals or what have you, and you're going to be better at getting what you want. So it's not going to be a big deal if you set a quote unquote a low standard in the first couple months just to get the hang of it. It's kind of like training wheels, right? So whenever you're doing this, you got the moon. As the moon's continuing on, you got the waxing moon, right? Which basically is starting to show more of itself. During this time, things are supposed to be building. So you're supposed to be building, right? You're supposed to be a creator. So knowing that, you're supposed to be making sure that anytime that you're going about stuff, you're not supposed to have just the intention of survival. Survival is going to happen regardless. That's instinctual. That's not the abundance mindset. You want to make sure that if you want to live an abundant life, you have to make sure that you're not always just focused on surviving. You have to figure out survival. That has to take care of itself. So you shouldn't even focus too much on that because you're going to do what it takes to survive. Come on now. You want to get beyond that. You want to be thriving, right? So not saying that you're not already, because of course, hey, you probably are. So we just want to talk about how to get even better at what we do. So as this waxing moon is coming, we want to make sure that we're building things in a detailed way in which we can make sure that whatever the goal is, we're making progress towards it, right? So then you got once you get to the build up and then you get to the full moon, right? You're supposed to feel fulfilled when the moon is full. So you're not supposed to feel like you need to do a lot. You're not supposed to be working your hardest on a full moon because, of course, if you do, it's not going to be lined up with the influences, right? And in a way, you might be wasting some energy. Things are supposed to come easier during that time because you're already supposed to be at your goals. So really, you're supposed to just be enjoying the fruits of your labor during the full moon. I hear a lot of people, they like to set intentions for a full moon, not realizing that that's actually the wrong time to do it. There is a such thing as right and wrong when it comes to making sure that you do things in the most efficient manner. So I'm not saying that it wouldn't work to set intentions during a full moon. But what I'm saying is, if you want these intentions to have the highest impact possible, you got to know when to do it and when to slow down as well. Because it's not always supposed to be going hard. You're not supposed to go hard all the time. When you're a true creator, life's supposed to come to you easily. Things are supposed to come to you. You're supposed to be attracting all this stuff. When you really get good at this, you're supposed to get stuff to come to you. It ain't even supposed to be hard for you to get what you want to get out of life. It's okay to not always have to work hard, yet still be living an abundant life. And that's really where we want to get to. Because that's really, only then is when somebody truly starts living for real. Because you got to get out the survival thing. That's what I'm saying. Once you figure out how to survive, it's no big deal. Now you can set big goals on the not so likely things if you compare it to what a normal person is capable of. And set these goals so that you can be an extraordinary person. So of course, we're not doing this for the ego and how it looks, but naturally people are going to admire your performance in life because you're going to be on stuff that people typically aren't on. Like other people ain't going to be on this. So really, I'm just trying to put y'all on, you dig? So anyway, so when the full moon is starting to wane away, the waning moon, as it's starting to fade away some more, you're supposed to be like, okay, I reached the peak of the month as far as the goal that I got to. You're supposed to be at the goal in the full moon. As the waning moon is happening, you're supposed to still be working, but it's not supposed to feel like I have to get to my goal. You're supposed to be there, so it's supposed to be a bit of a decline. So you're supposed to be able to chill a little bit more. So if I talk about paying your bills, for example, that's something that show up every month. If you want to make sure that you're taking care of this in the moon cycle, you're supposed to, regardless of when it is in the month, as far as the number of the month or whatever, when the moon is full, ideally you want to already have those bills taken care of. Now this is how you get out of the influences or whatever. This is how you get out of that monthly influence or however you want to put it. When you get out of that month to month, you're going to do it by making sure that you take care of those bills in advance, which is something that a lot of people don't consider as an option. If you pay your bills early, it's going to be so much easier for you to like relax and decompress subconsciously so that you can focus on the other stuff you want to take care of. You got to find a way to get ahead on this stuff. You get ahead by knowing when to go hard, when to chill out, When to go hard, when to chill out. It's not supposed to be a thing where you're just working hard all the time. That's not how this works. You gotta have balance in this life. And on any life. You gotta have balance. So you gotta know when you need to take a day off or a couple of days off or a week off and just relax. When to go on vacation. When to just relax at home. When to actually get on the phone and interact with other people. When to go hermit mode and don't talk to anybody. Like, all this stuff is necessary in order for you to really be able to advance in life. You gotta figure out the balance. Now, that's just one way to get out of that monthly cycle thing, but I don't want to talk too much about that right now. I really want to talk more about the days of the week. So I said Monday, right? You're supposed to be resting, and you're supposed to be comfortable, and you're supposed to be chilling, right? Tuesday is when you're supposed to be going in on Tuesday. You're supposed to be chasing your dreams, chasing your desires, going for what you're passionate about. You're supposed to go get it on Tuesday for real. Okay? Tuesday is naturally a day in which most people are going hard, so that's pretty good. Monday is a day where people naturally feel sluggish. You know, Monday is like, oh, it's Monday. I don't want to be going to school, going to work, and all that stuff. And people really naturally within themselves, they feel like they're supposed to chill out on a Monday. You're supposed to go with that feeling. Tuesday, like I said, you're supposed to go in. Wednesday is Mercury day, so you're supposed to do a lot more communicating and stuff like that. So you're really supposed to be on some social stuff on Wednesday. Like, if you have the ability to go out, then you maybe should on a Wednesday. Not just Wednesday, but what I'm basically saying is Wednesday is a good time to do stuff like express yourself to the world, post on social media, talk to other people, make a YouTube video or something like that. You dig? So, you know, that's just a little something. But Thursday is Jupiter day. So you want to be paying attention to like knowledge and wisdom and be a little more introverted. Not completely though, because it depends on how it looks for you. But you're supposed to be stimulating your intellectual side. You're supposed to be paying attention to what you want to experience in your future. You're supposed to be planning on expanding big time. So Jupiter is a huge planet, right? It's the big planet. So you want to make sure that whatever it is that you got going on Thursday, you in some shape or form, you're working on some big stuff. And then Friday is when you're supposed to be like, all right, I went in all week. It's Friday. I'm supposed to indulge. You're not supposed to overindulge, of course, but Friday is supposed to be the day in which Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, you went in. Friday, you're supposed to be able to relax and chill and stuff. Now, a lot of people work on Fridays too, and that's fine. You can still work, but if you can, don't work as hard as you would on a Tuesday, for example, because Friday is supposed to be when you just like get the fruits of your labor. A lot of people get paid on Friday and stuff like that. A lot of people like to go to parties on Friday. A lot of people like to smoke on Friday, drink on Friday. But shit, people be smoking and drinking all the time. Should any reason to do that, right? But anyway, so Saturday, that's the Saturn planet, right? So we want to be more calm. We want to be more practical, gaining more structure again, because you know Friday we just like indulged more, right? So Saturday we supposed to be chilling a little bit. You actually supposed to save money and be rational on Saturday. So Friday you go in, probably spend some of that check you just got or what have you. Saturday you supposed to just, all right, cool, that was fun. You ain't supposed to go in Friday, Saturday, Sunday, you just party, and then Monday you exhausted. Like, no, bro. You already gonna feel a little more relaxed and calm on Monday when you know what's up with these planets and these the moon ain't really a planet, but you get what I'm saying. All this astral stuff. So anyways, whenever Sunday comes, of course, it's technically the first day of the week. It just depends on how you look at it. But Sunday is really supposed to be like the best day of the week for you. It's supposed to be you expressing yourself. Treat yourself. You're supposed to be taking action in a way in which you actually like doing what you want to get into, and make sure that you are making promises to yourself for the week to come. So you want to make sure that Sunday you're paying attention to what's going on in your mind. That's every day. But if you only journal one day a week, make sure you do it on Sunday, for example. And if not Sunday, Monday. But you should really, like, on some serious stuff, I recommend you do some journaling all the time. That's how you figure out what's going on in your mind, because then you're going to figure out what your desires are, and it's going to be easier to come up with a plan on how to get there, because you're going to be more aware of what's going on in your head. Because for you to be able to write it down, you're going to have your attention on it. A lot of people be having mindless thoughts without realizing what's really going on in their mind. That's why people act on emotions a lot, because they're not really self-aware enough. But that's a whole other subject for another time. But yeah, I just wanted to put y'all onto this. You got any questions or any comments, make sure you put in the thing below and hit a thumbs up if you want to, subscribe. You dig? Mess with me.